Hey guys, what's up? So I am following up with the last video I made talking about how it feels like the writing is off with guts, and I had more time to listen to your comments and everything, and I didn't comment back to a lot of you guys, and I'm sorry for that, but there's a reason for that this time, right? Like, I really was just thinking about it, and I was rereading the series before I dive into this further topic, and I honestly, and it's not even scripted or anything, this is me talking from actually analyzing it and my own feedback. There is something inherently wrong with the current writing of Guts and Berserk. I am not saying it's against Muriel's wishes because I didn't know him personally, but it seems like maybe at this point in the series, Guts was supposed to be portrayed as broken or something, but it feels off, and this is what I mean, right? The portrayal of Guts currently in the series is kind of like if he is Cloud in Final Fantasy VII, and if you guys haven't played Final Fantasy VII at this point, I don't know what you're doing. But what I mean by that, in the 23rd disc, Cloud goes into a comatose state because his mind is venturing elsewhere versus his actual physical body, so he's pretty much like a vegetable. Now, they're trying to do something similar like that to Guts, in my opinion, but it doesn't work in the sense that it should. And what I mean by that is, it'll be one thing if Guts himself wasn't himself and he was trapped in limbo in his own head, and that would be a better portrayal of what we're seeing in this actual chapter. And what I mean by that is, it would make more sense. Guts has always been a character that stood for struggling and fighting through adversity. From the time he was literally born and he fell out his mother's belly onto the floor underneath a tree where everybody was hanging and dead, he's been a struggler. He's gone through his entire life, going through a series of crap, literally, from being SA'd to, having to kill his own father, all sorts of things, right? He's gone through a lot of things, fought thousands of demons, struggled against the elements of total darkness, fights against his own inner demon, right? Like, it's insane that he is literally they're making him into a simp at this point. So this is not Guts. Like, all this is to say, this is not Guts. Because again, I would understand if you took his mind, what his mind is, and you separate it from his body, right? That would be a whole different argument. But to say that this person who refuses to fight, almost allowing himself to get killed by a nobody apostle, is Guts, is asinine. It's crazy. It's like, there's no way I personally could look at this character and be like, yeah, you know what, that's the character I grew up with from since I was a little young man all the way up to now, and that's the character I really liked, and I really loved the series and the manga and everything. It's not true to the story, in my opinion. And again, I am going to chalk this up as the new writers or whoever is taking over the manga. They are trying to interpret Muriel's script, probably, and they're trying to figure out how it should have gone, right? Because again, we see like Shurike, she's in the astral realm and all these things are happening, right? So maybe Guts was meant to be lost in the astral plane or something. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to try to interpret on it, and I'm not mad at it, because at the end of the day, we're still getting new Berserk chapters, and the series could have easily just fade into nothingness and be done and just be an incomplete series, which would suck. So I am taking this with, kind of like Game of Thrones, right? Like, The last season was kind of like, but you know what? Overall, the show was a good show up until the last season. So I'm just going to chalk it up as that. And I'm not saying, I think Berserker could still turn it around if it gets back to where it's supposed to be, which is violence, gore, and just breaking people's stuff and making, you know, revenge a cool arc, right? But I guess Guts never stood for revenge. So let me address so many things people were saying in the comments, right? Some people felt like Guts, he doesn't want to fight, right? Or they want to show that he has, like, he's suffering and he's going through X, Y, and Z. And again, you can watch your previous video and read through the comments yourself, and you tell me what you think. If maybe I'm misinterpreting what some people are saying. But at the end of the day, like, when you think about what Berserk is, right? Berserk, the whole premise is like, Guts is a struggler. He's willing to fight and do what's right no matter what. He's going through the emotions and it's tearing him apart. But regardless of how he feels in the situation, no matter what, he still moves forward. And that in turn defines the character. He's struggling. He loses an arm. He loses an eye. He loses his loved one. He watched her get essayed in front of him, but yet he persists, yet he moves forward, right? And like, it just shows, like, and even the fights, there's several different fights he goes through, but yet he moves forward. A character like that doesn't go from that point to just giving up and allowing some random to come kill him. And I said that before. It's just like, you see, this is what happens. No matter how many times I think about, well, okay, he did go through a lot and he's breaking down now, you know, mentally he's probably really fatigued, but no, it just doesn't add up. He literally has an entity that exists within him that if he's mentally fatigued, it takes over, right? His enragement is done by his alter ego, which is the demon dog that we all see all the time. Where is this demon right now? This demon would be, if this was truly the story of Berserk, this demon would be frolicking in the streets right now, killing all those apostles and all those monsters, all those little trolls that just appeared and stuff. He would be bathing in their blood and guts, right? Literally, pun intended. Like, that demon would not let this thing stop, because the demon warned Guts and said, the minute you are truly broken, I will come back, right? So he dwells inside, and Guts is truly broken, right? He almost allowed apostles to kill him. So if you follow the true story of Berserk, it would make sense that, and you see you guys can make the link, that the demon should be causing mayhem and carnage right now. Like, the matting, that's all I'm saying. And again, if you writers somehow managed to stumble upon this video, I doubt it, but if they did, I am not saying that you guys suck per se. I'm just saying, maybe look at the way things are being portrayed. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm a writer, right? I'm an aspiring writer someday, right? But it's a hard job, right? You're taking on the intellectual work of someone who just passed away. And you have to be careful with it. Same thing that's happening in Dragon Ball Super, right? Notice Akira Toriyama, God rest his soul, passed away. They didn't rush out to make a bunch of Dragon Ball Z things that didn't have his name on it, right? Like, I want to mean by that, they had Dragon Ball Dynama, but that was a series he was working on and it was finished prior to his passing away. You notice they're taking a nice long hiatus, right? Because it's important to really understand and have, like, they probably need a room of like 10, 20 people just to talk about this, because at the end of the day, you do not want to disrespect the original work. And I'm not saying that Berserker is doing that, I'm just saying properly analyzing the work of a genius is very hard, because you remember, these stories that we fall in love with and affect us emotionally throughout our lives, they are written by a unique person. Not everybody can write a brilliant story like this, right? Because if that was the case, everybody would have a best-selling manga or book or whatever. So that's all I'm saying. You guys have anything, comment down below. As always, take care.